hear me clearly, so that we know that we are also communicating. Whether on Zoom or on YouTube, please put it on the chat if you can hear me clearly, so that I can know that everyone can hear me. Please, thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. Also on YouTube, please, I also need us to put in the chat on YouTube too if you can hear me clearly. All right, so today's class, like I said, today's class is going to be split into two. It's going to be handled by myself and also um, Goodness and you. Please, Goodness, can you also speak so that they can also meet you? Goodness. Okay, while we are waiting for Goodness, so the class is going to be into two classes. We're going to have the web design, where we look at what is in the world of web design, because the whole course that we're going to do for the next 4 weeks, 4 months, we are going to be looking at web, and also we are going to look at a bit of design, because contemporary being of web design before now was that we usually use plugins and use templates, the existing template that's already been designed. But in modern day design, in modern day web development, we have to use design tools to be able to achieve most of our UI UX, for it to be more interactive and so. So if you look at the story of how web design, web development begins, the main idea of web development started when they want to be looking for a main central place to share knowledge. And most typically, when you look at old websites, you see that they look like just text-based, whereby it's just text and the rest. But as improvement goes on, when you look at, I think it should be in about either fifth or seventh generation now in web development, in the revolution of web development. Look at the first generation, it was just pure text based. And then when we look at the subsequent generations, we could see that they started introducing medias, which are images. Hello, Goodness, please, if you are online, you are with us, please let us know. So you will see that they start introducing images and then some media files on the new system. Then when you look at after they introduced images, after images was introduced, the next thing that they look at, please let's meet ourselves. Alabi Ibrahim, please meet yourself. Alabi Ibrahim, please meet yourself.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Goodness, please, if you are with us, let's know, please. Hello, Goodness, are you here?
Goodness, all right. If you are with us, let's. Good morning. Sorry.
Yeah, please, if you are here.
Yeah, I'm showing now.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so looking at the next revolution of web, we saw that from just simple text-based media. Look at what other things can we do with web, and that's where we look at forms, and that is what makes that was the biggest evolution of web when form was introduced, because we could see web to use it to submit applications. Normally, what you go to consulate to go and do, or what you go to university, like when you process your JAM admission from your admissions into university from JAM portal and the rest. Before, you'll be waiting for either mailbox or you travel back and forth to be looking whether you're admitted or how to submit your applications. But the introduction of form to web development makes it a very great revolutions in terms of web development, and that explodes the web development. In early 2015 upward down to 2020 and the rest, and upward like that. So that's when we start considering a centralized system, and that's when we hear of Web3, we hear of cryptocurrency and all. So all this idea of all this stuff, they have diverse fields they're able to study them from. But when we look at them from the angle of web, all this Web3, cryptocurrency, the idea is born out of revolutions of web. Because the main idea of all this stuff is how can we have a centralized system? If you are following me from the journey of how web was, the evolution of web, you will see that it's all about solving problems. The first one, we did text, which mostly was used by scholars, then publishing publications. Then the introduction of images and video was born out of socialization. When they want to socialize, they want to share image and the rest. Then form comes in from the backbone of we can be using our application to do so many much more. But now the idea of Web3 comes in, you are submitting form now, and people are having your data, warehousing your data. So there is this thread that you can't trust anybody with your data, and that's what's built around Web3. Like I said, all these things have diverse feed. This is not the only side to it. So I'm just bringing it from the angle of web revolutions. So the main idea of that in terms of web is how can we decentralize the data so that the data is not just in one particular centralized location. Whereby, for instance, if I save my data in Jamp portal now, what Jamp is doing is that they don't want it that it should be saved in maybe in Amazon server. Let it be shared across all board, whereby Amazon does not have access to my data. They share it bit by bit across all board, and then everybody will have bits of the data. So if everybody has bit of the data, the information is useless, except the originator bring the cipher to the server is data, and that's what. So now we are looking at in terms of AI, looking at other development in web, and so this is just a short journey of what is all about web and how web become evolve as time goes on. So we are going to go into details. My name once again is Joshua Danare. I'm a full stack developer here at McGeorge Consulting. I'm also a certified information technology and also a Google developer certified engineer. Also with me is Goodness. So we are going to split this course into two. So Goodness is going to continue from here and is going to share his slide on UI UX because we want to take it from the angle of design. Then once he's done with design, we'll move back to what is web development. So Goodness, over to you. You can start with UI UX design.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Please, I need someone to confirm if you can hear my screen. If you can hear me, rather.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, and can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Good morning once again, and I'm excited to walk you through this session of UI UX alongside with my colleague, Mr. Joshua, who is a full stack developer at McGeorge. My name is Goodness. Also, I'm a UI UX designer at McGeorge. So I'll be walking you through the UI UX aspects of this whole web development journey. And some of the things I will bring to light to you this morning is to understand what UI UX is all about, explore a bit of what they do, just to get a bit of understanding from a developer's perspective of what UI UX is all about, and getting to understand all the essential elements of creating positive user experience through UI UX design. I believe this is just to give us like an intro into what the UI UX is all about, and at the same time can even help you as a developer because we work hand in hand. There's always that handshake between the designer and the engineer that is trying to implement those designs. And so it is best that even as a developer, you understand UI UX, you understand from the design perspective so that you will not be all about the functionality at the same time. You also be functional from the aesthetic view, something that is very pleasing, not just something that is static. So, without wasting any time, I'll go into what UI UX is all about. And I want this class to be interactive. I know most of us, we might be new, or we have some people that are already in the web development world already. So I'll ask, maybe, is there anyone that has come across the word UI UX before? Or do anybody have anything about UI UX? Maybe on Zoom or um, on YouTube. Do anybody have like what UI UX? What does it mean to you? what is UI, what is UX, what do you think it is all about? Do you have any comment?
People they use data make money. Your own has been TikTok.
Sorry, please, as you join, please try to mute your mic. Please try to mute your mic.
Are you?
What are we eating?
Martha, please mute your mic.
Okay, so I asked the question, do anybody have an idea of what UI UX is all about? Do you have any response yet? Either on Zoom or YouTube? Or you can just tell me you don't have an idea or just to speed up the time. No. Okay. This is somebody saying no idea, all right. Do we still have more comments? Or I can move on. All right. So without wasting much of the time, let's move on to UI UX. So UI on its own, it's an acronym. It's not just a okay, we have somebody already saying UI is user interface. And okay, thank you very much, Latifa. Thank you very much. So to kickstart, UI is not just any word, it's an acronym and it stands for user interface design. That's the U and the I. And it refers to the point of interaction between the user and a digital device or product. And talking about you, I would say that also for myself too, when I started, it looks more like something that is not something I'm not familiar with. But as I journeyed on, I saw that it's even something is what I use every day. And every one of us, right now, we are on a particular what's it called product. Either it is Zoom or it is YouTube or even to your WhatsApp. That's a product that was done by a particular group. And you will notice that you are always touching your screen or interacting with some of the things you see on your screen. And that's what we call UI. All of those things you interact with, maybe your button, maybe clicking on send or clicking on recording voice note on WhatsApp or clicking on the play button on YouTube or pressing the subscribe button, all of those things you interact with, that is between you, the user, and the digital products. That's just what is called UI. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of elements on your screen that you can just tap on. You can tap on the settings. You can like, you can forward something, you can change your audio settings and all of those stuff. That's majorly all of the things you interact with a digital product or a digital device. It's the UI design. But the UX on the other side is not just what you play around with on your phone or any other gadget. It involves planning and optimizing the experience a person has when they interact with a product. Okay, this is much more of, let me say, the experience, what you feel, the emotion involved when you're trying to use something. I don't know if anybody has tried to, maybe you want to recharge your line, let's say, for example, from a particular bank application. And after you put all of your details, you just see that it just tells you, please wait, and it's rolling, and it's rolling, and it's rolling. And it keeps on rolling like that for the next, let's say, 5 minutes. What is it that you think is going to be, how will you feel? Can anybody drop in the comments how you will feel? Is this something that you feel okay with? What emotion is it going to bring out from you after, like, let's say 3 minutes of waiting? What's going to happen to you? Do you have anybody to drop down in the comments? Yes, frustrated. You feel to be tired because you're just going to be like, what's going on? It brings out a particular emotion from you. In fact, without you just knowing, it brings out a particular emotion from you. You naturally just respond to it. Okay, so thank you very much for all of those that responded. That's what the UX caters for. So the UX is all about understanding the users. Yeah, trying to put yourself, it's more of like it's not like a sympathy journey but an empathy journey where you are putting yourself in the user's shoes. So when you are designing something, you're designing something that will not really be frustrating. Or let's take, for example, maybe you want to quickly get something. Maybe let's say there's a particular app that helps you order food. You are famished, you're hungry, and you want to just quickly get something to snack on. And you go where you want to, you go to this particular app that promises to deliver food to your doorstep, and you selected the meal you want, and you got to the place to check out, and you're seeing that the checkout button is very tiny. Like it's not something that you can press. It's something very small somewhere. Yes, it's functional. Like, yes, it does what it's developer, you need to understand who a UI designer is, and it's somebody that plays around, is responsible for creating all of the icons that you will implement, the buttons, the typography that it will be implemented, the color scheme, the spacing. It provides you with imageries. He helps you with responsiveness, because I think we also get into that. When you are designing, you're not just designing for just a particular screen. You are designing for all of the screens. And as we know now, aside desktop, we have other sides. We have the mobile screen. In fact, we have those that use their smartwatch. And for that smartwatch is a particular device that we need to interface with. There's also designed for that as well. So a UI designer is responsible for that. I'll go to the UX. UX is responsible for creating the user personas, conducting research, and designing the flows, the coming up with the wireframes, developing prototype, testing it out, and all of this stuff. Now, let me just bring the two together, because more or less, it's not like in a much more bigger organization, that's where they split the role and say, okay, you, Mr. A, you are the UI designer, you, Mr. B, you are the UX designer. In fact, in much more bigger companies, let's say Google or much more bigger space, they tend to even have people that focus on interactivity. So you can see somebody that says, I'm an interactivity designer, or I'm a iconographer. Like I just deal with icon. I don't do with any other thing. So there's much more flexibility in terms of all of these roles in a much more larger scale. But in a much more limited, or let's say a small group, they tend to do that same role together. They tend to do that same role together. So um can you still see my screen? Is my screen still visible?
Yes, yes, your screen is
Yes,
still
yes,
visible.
yes, yes.
Okay, please confirm what you can see on my screen. Is it just, can you
Introduction to
see?
web design and UI UX.
Oh, maybe I should stop sharing and sharing again, because I think
Okay.
I've moved past that. Sorry. Sorry for that delay. Just noticed that things coming. So, okay. 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 To confirm if you can see my screen now. Hello?
Yes, you can see it.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can
we are seeing only introduction to web as well.
Oh, you are still seeing the introduction.
Yes.
Maybe this way then.
Yeah.
Okay, you should be able to see my screen now. Right?
It's still
No.
on the introduction to web design.
What about now?
Still the same.
Still the same. Yeah. No, it just show now. I'm back to introduction. Yeah. Ah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, pardon me. So that means you've not seen all of this while I was talking, right?
Yes.
No.
yes.
Oh, my apologies. So I think I've talked about UI UX design. I've talked about UI and the UX. As well talked about um, user experience. Okay, bringing them together, as I was saying, I think that was where I realized that my screen wasn't moving with me. So we have much more of a bigger space in the sense that when we have a smaller group, they tend to come together and a person assigns that particular role. Though there's a bit of difference between the two because they are distinct roles. The UX design seamless and meaningful experience, while the UI is focuses on the visuals and interactive elements of the product to create an aesthetically pleasing interface. So take example, I just want to use because part of the things I'll just say is UI UX cut across not just the mobile apps. Mobile apps and digital products are part of it. In fact, on a larger scale, they cut across other things, other products that we use because it's all about you understanding the users and what they interact with to get a better experience. So there was this time I noticed a particular system. I don't know if somebody has used that before, and I want to talk about the UX now. I think it's a particular model of HP system where you see your on the power button beside the delete button. To me, I feel like that particular experience might not really be good because, take for example, you want to maybe turn off your computer, you just mistakenly press delete, or you press delete instead of pressing your power button. So that kind of, you see, that is not even like, it's not a software or it's not a website, it's a physical product. But the experience it evokes is going to be very, very terrible. Just take example, maybe you want to quickly delete something. Maybe you're in a meeting and you are urgently trying to edit something. I just want to press delete and press power button. What's going to happen to you immediately? Is your emotion going to be right that particular time? That particular experience can just make you somehow. You're just going to wait again for your system to boot again. That on its own, it's still UX experience, it's still UX design. You must be very, very careful in all of the seamless interaction you are creating. Another thing in trying to solve problem, you should not create another problem. You're trying to solve a particular problem, you're not creating another problem. Those are part of the key things in the UX perspective and in the UX world. So as I was saying, bringing the two together, the person that is doing the UI UX, like myself now in Mark George, I'm responsible for creating all of the visual interfaces that the company is going to use. I'm responsible for creating all of those, conducting user experience, trying to understand from the user's perspective. So when I'm designing, I'm not just designing for myself. I'm designing something that will be usable. So it means something is every region and all of those stuff like that. Okay. So the UX, this is just still like a particular image I got from careerfoundry.com, and it just trying to bring that similar the differences between the UX and the UI. It focus on just the experience, and the UI focus on the visual touch points and all of those stuff. Putting the two together is just all of this. I've talked about what a UI designer does. I've talked about what the UX designer does. And okay, fine, let's talk about this screen. There are times that in you getting to a final defined point, it starts from something that is basic. I don't know if anybody has encountered this before on, let me see, I think most of the time, YouTube has always done that, and I really like that. Then when you open your YouTube, let's say for instance, there's nothing, maybe your network is not stable, you will notice that you will see rectangles. I don't know if anybody uh, has noticed that. Let me see a thumbs up if you have seen that before. You just see some rectangles. Yes, you see some rectangles like that. You just see some blank spaces, something trying to load. Those are low fidelity designs. It just has to do with you just creating, okay, this is the structure, this is the layout I'm supposed to use. So in coming up with a very high defined, the high fidelity design, so it starts from a low scratch where you try to take your pen and paper and draw some things out. At times you have to sketch things out to just really and you will develop on that sketch until it becomes this particular one I have on my right hand side. So this particular design I have on my right hand side started from this rough design that just, okay, this rectangle is for the image, this is for where the sign is going to be, this is going to be the email and password, this is going to be the login and blah, 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 blah. So that can just be like a rough stage of your own ideation, because in designing, it takes process. It's not something that you just wake up one day and say you're designing and you're designing. No, there are a lot of process into it. So this is just a difference between the low fidelity and high fidelity. I think key skills the UI UX person needs is collaboration. Now, talking in terms of a web developer now, they collaborate with you, they communicate all of the things they do with you, and all of this stuff. At the same time, for UI UX design, it's user-centered. So it prioritizes users' needs and preference, not just what you think is right, but what is right. There are times that when you're doing a particular design, you have to do something, you have to conduct research. Let's say, for instance, you're trying to check if this particular solution you are thinking it will solve their problem. In fact, when you are doing research, it helps you to, the users tell you even some of the things that you don't know. Because sometimes if, for instance, I want to solve a problem for lecturers, maybe to manage their timing or to manage their engagement with students, I might just think it's a problem that a lecturer can be stuck trying to manage. Maybe he's teaching in Lautech, he's teaching in Uninoring, he's teaching in, let me see which other, he's teaching in Kwara Poly, and he's teaching in maybe, let me say Kwasu, let's say Kwasu, Lautech, and Unilearning, and he's trying to manage all of those students. And I just feel like it's very ethic for him to manage it. By the time I do a particular, let's say, survey, and I put it out and I send it to the target audience, which is lecturers, and I send it to them and they fill it up for me, I might get an inference from that survey that, okay, there is a particular software that they even use. That way, it will make me to go and study that software, understand what the software does, and try to do a bit of competitive analysis where and I can even have a much more bigger edge because I'm doing something that they are not doing, and that's why it's something that it's very, very interesting. It's a very interesting word, and you ensure that it's smooth to navigate. I don't know if any of you, let me see. Okay, I just don't want to call any platform here so that I'll not have troubles with them. I know that most of us we have seamless interactions with all of our day-to-day applications that we use for communication, for transaction. It is very easy for you to send. Okay, let's take for example, OP. You want to send money to somebody. In fact, you've copied the number. Let's say, for instance, now you've copied the number on WhatsApp and you just open the OPR based on my own experience now. That's what I'm trying to share. And you go to maybe you want to transfer money to an OP account, you will definitely see that it's going to pop up that notification that, okay, you can paste this particular number that you have copied. I don't know if anybody, just give me a thumbs up if you have experienced that also, that you're going to see that, okay, this, you have copied this number. So it helps you to navigate it easily. So it doesn't give you that stress. It's trying to reduce all of because it's a problem for you to start inputting that number again. So it has helped you. So it speeds up that process for you, and it makes it easy for you to navigate, and it's easy for you to understand. Consistency. You will notice that in all of your interfaces for maybe on let's use WhatsApp now. When you open uh somebody's chat, the way that structure is, the way all of the header is, the way the text is, the text size, the text font, the text weight on a particular chat is still the same thing on group, it's still the same thing on channels. They make it consistent. You can't just see that maybe you open this particular person. Let's say, for instance, you have somebody in your contact that is David, and you open him and you see that his image is half of your screen. is WhatsApp DP is half of your screen. You go somewhere else, you see another thing. No, no, no. You have to be there's need to be consistency in UI UX design, and that's what makes it good. So if it is user-centered, which means it solves the user's need, are you able to send your money? Yes, you're able to send your money. Wait, was it easy for you to send the money? Yes, it was easy. Look at all of the designs and all of these elements they use. Was it consistent? Yes. Then at the same time, it must work across devices. So when you're taking it on your mobile, it should be seamless. You should enjoy it. You should not feel like what's happening. If you're checking it on web, it should be easily accessible at the same time too. Now, then the last thing I'll talk about is accessibility. It must also allow those with disabilities. And that's, I think my colleague will also talk on that, because in design and in development, even in general, there's this WCAG guideline we follow for helping us design something that is very, very intuitive, something that cuts across every person. There are people that cannot hear, so there's a screen reader. There are people that cannot see. There's this uh, sorry. I said people that cannot hear screen readers. For people that cannot hear, they might be like maybe yes, they can read through the screen. They can read through. For people that I wanted to say people that cannot see, yes. So those are those that use screen readers. When they touch anywhere, there's something that's supposed to, there's a particular system in place that is supposed to help them read that to access all of the content you have done on your website. So that also will be handled by my colleague when it comes. Talking about tools for UI UX, we use Figma, we use Adobe XD, we use Sketch, InVision, Proto, Whimsical. There are a lot of tools, and in fact, tools keep coming every day because people keep editing, people keep developing stuff. But for now, there's in the industry standard for what's it called? There's what's this name? Apart from Figma, there are other software tools. If I remember, there's one I used that it just quickly slide my mind now. Framer, yes, there's Framer, there's other stuff to help you design your interface. And all of this, what they do is just to help you do those interface well. You have already done your own work by doing all of the low fidelity, the research and all of those stuff. So you bring it to life through those tools. And in fact, you can use any tool as far as you are a master of it. One of the things I've learned over time is it's not about you learning the tool, it's about you learning that skill. If you know a particular skill well, let's say for instance, the graphics, let's say you are doing graphics. If you know graphics design very well, you can use any software. Any tool can be used. You can use your mobile phone through Pixel app to achieve it. You can use Canva to achieve it. You can use Photoshop to achieve it. You can use any other app to achieve it, as far as you know all of the things that is involved. Even at the same time, I remember that there was a time I started website also started that the basic HTML and CSS. I remember then I didn't even have a system. I used my phone. There were text editors that helped me to write the code on my phone, and I was able to run it on my Chrome, and I could see it just the same way it will be on a system. So you can use any tool as far as you understand what you are doing, as far as you understand all of the things involved, all of the skills, all of the knowledge that you need to know, you can use any tool. So for now, I will try to jump on Figma to do a bit of walkthrough to help you understand some of the things I've said and to put that in better perspective for you to see. Thank you very much. And I'll be doing that now. So I don't know if you have a Figma account, let me just indicate if you already have a Figma account that you've used or you don't. You can just indicate. Okay, you don't. Okay. So for those that helps you to it saves your work in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about your system storage and all of this life. But at the same time, it's an application or it's a software that works basically perfectly on system. So you might need to have a system to use it well for it to work optimally. If you try to check it on your mobile phone, it might not really be that nice. The experience might not be nice. Though there's a mobile app for it, but the mobile app is just more or less for prototype and for it to just have your files easily accessible. So that is that from that. So you can just maybe later if you have any difficulty signing up or creating an account, you can just let me know. So moving on to what I want to do, or let me just walk you through that at the same time. Okay, so minute. So I'm trying to open something there. Let me share my screen so that I can see that as well. So for those that don't know how Figma works, so this should help. So if you just go to figma.com and you click on get started for free, it's a free platform to start with, except if you want to use it for much more bigger stuff. It asks you for, you can connect it directly with your Google, or you enter your email and continue all of this process. And once you have done that, it gets you to this particular page. Let me just switch to that page so that you can see it. Gets you to this particular page. So it takes you to this dashboard where you have everything messed up, and you can see that I have recent because I've worked on this before, but for beginners kind of file, you might not see a lot of all of these things. You can just see, yes, you'll be able to see your library, you'll be able to see Figma Basic and some other stuff. So I think just like 3 files or thereabout. But this is because I've been using this for some time to create something. That's why you have drafts. So on your project, you can go to project or project and go to your team file, because that will be there by default. You can create projects, but for a free account, just as you have seen here, for a free account, you can't create multiple projects. You can just put on one. So I have a limit of, let's say, 2 to 3 files for you to create, but just for a free account, it's still something you can use and manage all through. So you can create a file by coming to create and creating a design file here. So, which is this that I've created. And let me just create that so that I can show something. So if you click on create, it's going to bring out this window trying to create that particular, it's going to create that particular file. It's taking time to load. Let's wait for that. So once you have your file running, you're going to see on title and all of those stuff and all of those stuff like that. So let me just walk you through. So this is your file itself, just like you have your number. Oh, yes. At the same time, this is my Figma software. So if you are on Chrome, which will possibly be what you will see, then definitely your interface might be different. Let me just switch to that interface and just recall that the interface is a bit different on Chrome, because for Chrome now, you will have all of those things showing. So let's say this Chrome now, you have all your normal browser tab.
Have you not cooked finish?
Hey, bro. So you
Come and
have,
give me food.
please, your mic, please. So you have all of these, your tabs, your normal tabs created, but at the same time you have Figma here where you can check all of those stuff. I think yes, this is this also a free account. So you basically see all of this when you come to your own account. You see all of this, your name, put your library, this Figma Basics, Figma, button style, and all of this stuff. So you can just go to all project, you see team project here. You can open team projects and just create your file. You will definitely need a file here. It's just the normal default that Figma gives you. So you can create it, but it's still the same thing, because when you click on create, let's say for example, I create here, it's going to open that interface for me as well here for me to see. Just a moment. So it's going to show you all of this.
Okay, apologies on that. I think Mr. Goodness is having a network glitch. That is why. So he's going to be joining us back shortly. That should be the network issue. So pending the time Mr. Goodness will be joining us back, I believe we have all gotten one or two things to learn from the lecture that he has been giving, and I believe we have questions in our mind to ask. I'll suggest we drop our question in the chat box to engage ourselves pending the time he joined because he seems to be having a network glitch from his end. Also, for those on YouTube and also we on Zoom as well, we encourage each and everyone to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also drop the like button as well. And also follow the company's social media and which the link has been shared across both Telegram and WhatsApp channel as well. Okay, yes, we can hear you. Not yet.
Okay, so where are we now?
Okay, yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, you could say.
So you have a question on YouTube. While you have a network glitch, I suggested they drop their question in the chat box. While we have two questions on YouTube. The second question is: do we create account on the app or website using Chrome?
Okay, so I think I talked about that when I was talking about Figma itself. Figma is something, yes, it has a mobile app, but at the same time, it basically has to do with your system. You cannot use your phone to do all of those designs and interface. The phone might not be able to do that. So for creating your account, yes, you can use the mobile to create your account, because if you try to creating your account on the mobile, it will open your Chrome browser for you. You have to follow all of those process of creating an account from the Chrome, as well as your system too. Even if you download the Figma software and you want to create an account, it will have to pop up your Chrome or your default browser for you to create an account. So definitely you still have to create accounts on a Chrome with with their website, www.figma.com. So you can just go to Figma first off, www.figma website, and you create your account from there. Then you can once you even create your account, it automatically gives you that ability to see that window I showed the other time for the Chrome version, the browser version of Figma. So you'll be able to see it straight. Even once you're signed in, when you type www.figma.com, it will not even take you to their website page again because you're already logged in. So it's going to bring your workspace area for you to check and do all of the stuff you want to do. Yes, it requires mobile data to run. So it's not something that you can just open. Even if you have the Figma desktop on your system, like the desktop, it's not like Photoshop and Illustrator that you can just open at any time. You will need your internet connection to run it perfectly. So once you are connected to the internet, yes, you can operate everything you do because remember I said that your work is stored in the cloud. So it's not like it's saving anything on your system. So you will need your internet to keep updating that updating all of the changes in the cloud for you in your account for your account. So I think I've answered the question of which of the devices use Figma. Yes, I said that yes, there's Figma app, but the Figma app is basically for you to check your prototype. Let's say you are trying to design something and you want to see how it looks like on your mobile phone. That's why the Figma mobile is there. So you can just send that prototype to your phone, preview it from your phone, so you can interact with it just like you're interacting with any software, like a live software. So it's just for interactivity and to try to test what you have done on Figma. You can just test everything, just like as if it's already developed or designed. So that's what is it called? The mobile app is for, and it helps you to manage other stuff. Maybe you want to grant somebody access, you want to write comments, you want to reply to comments, you want to view that particular file. Yes, you can view it, but you cannot edit on it because obviously you don't have your keyboard and your mouse and all of that stuff. So I think I've answered that question, right? I think I've answered that question. You can give it a thumbs up if that's the different person that asked the question. Can you still hear me, everyone? Is my voice still audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So moving on, let's try to find something to do within limited space we have. So I saw this image randomly on the web, so I just feel like it's something we can play around with just to get ourselves familiar with the Figma software. So as I said, this particular place is where you can adjust. If you double click on it, it will highlight this so you can adjust that particular name of the file. So this can be the name of the file. Let's say slide app or whatever the file can be. And you notice that I'm doing this is updating as well here. So even if I change it here and I say this is a Optimum or whatever the name of the app is, it changes automatically here. So that's where you can rename your file. So this is the Figma canvas. You have this blank canvas here, and you see everything black. At the same time, to its preference, I set my Figma to be in dark mode, and that's why you are seeing everything black like this. At the same time, I can as well adjust this particular canvas from this page here, and I can just come to this place and make it white or make it something. It depends on you, it's your preference, but I most of the time just like it when the screen is just dark because of I still long on Figma, so to help my eye and to get better, not really stress myself around. So I prefer a dark theme, so it's your preference. So for you opening it for the first time, you might see a light theme. You can as well go and change that from your settings. You can change that from your account and go to your account settings. Then you can choose your theme. You'll see it here. It's dark, so you can decide to choose your theme, whatever you want. So that's left to you, your preference. So moving on, or I've talked about this. So this particular, I'll talk about all of this session just in a rush. This particular session is your property sections where it's a property panel where you check all of the properties of the elements you have. So let's say, for example, I have a rectangle here. You see that immediately that rectangle is clicked, this particular right-hand panel changes to that property of the rectangle. And if it's a text, for instance, let's say I have this text, you notice that at the same time, This interface, this has typography, but if I come here, you can't see it again. So it is the property for each of the elements you create. And at the same time, on your right-hand panel, on your left-hand side, you see the layers panel, where you can see all of the things you have created. I created this rectangle, I wrote this text. You can maybe, let's say you have a frame, you can put a frame, it's going to show every of the thing that is on this canvas. You will definitely see it on your left-hand side. Yes, you have a frame, you have a text, you have this. Sorry, excuse me. So even if you have a circle, you will see ellipse here. You keep seeing all of the things you are having on your canvas here. So let me move to this. So you will notice that here I have a lot of layers. That's because I have a lot of things on this particular page. So to help us kickstart, one of the things in the UI is that you also need to do a bit of sorting, like you research about user interfaces you want to do. So it's not like you're sitting down and the imagination just comes on you and you just do everything. No, 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 no. You have to take your time, go to Pinterest, go to Behance, go to Dribble, go to Mobin, and other platforms, or you just go to Google randomly and just type whatever you want and go to the image tab where you can see all of the images. Then you see anyone you feel like it looks great to you that you can replicate. So for this to start, you start by creating a frame, and that means I'm going to walk you through all of this two section here. So we have this for move, we have and you have scale. So on default is on move, and what move does is you can grab any element and you can play around with it. So if I grab this particular image, it's my left click, I can move around with it. Okay, quickly let me try to enable keyboard so that you can see it. Okay. So I want to share my entire screen so that you can see that. So it's going to help. Just a second, because you might need to see all of the things I am doing at the same time. So you will notice that when I select it and I left click, you can check that particular you check your top right corner, you see my mouse icon there to tell you what I'm doing. So if I select it and I move around it, you will see that it keeps moving. That's the essence of this move to, but the and helps you to move around your canvas, like you're just trying to scroll through all of your canvas. Then at the same time, the scale from the name scale, it helps you to scale your elements. It helps you to scale your elements. So at the same time for move also helps you to scale your elements, but it depends on, it has a bit of pros and cons to each. That's just how it works. Then we have frame. Under frame, we have section. Frame is basically now what you use. If you check your right-hand side now, we have a lot of frame. We have the frames for phone, we have frames for tab, we have frames for desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media, Figma community, and all of this stuff. So please, the person joining on Zoom should please stop. So you come to desktop, since it's desktop, and you come and click on this desktop, it automatically gives you that frame. You see it here, desktop. And with that desktop on, please, the person that drew this should kind of undo it. Stopping the screen. So for that desktop now, you see it's blank. So you can now start playing around with all of these things you saw that you want to do, just to quickly kickstart that. Just to see what you can do. So to start, you know that yes, you need all of this. You need to have a logo. So for instance, logo, for my logo, I want to use let me use good with D as my logo. But at the same time, I can play around with typography. I can come to this typography and make it instead of regular bold or even black. This is just for this sake of this particular presentation. If you can decide to pick any logo of your choice, there are logos out there that you can pick. Okay, let me pick one of these logos then. and make a bit of adjustment to it. Think about some ways. Let's pick, for the sake of this design, let's just pick this butter wave, or let's pick Udo. For the sake of this design, let's pick Udo.
Sorry for the noise.
Hello. Hello. Is my voice still audible?
Yes,
Can
we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you and see
Alright.
your screen.
we can hear
There's
you.
those that are trying to talk behind this. Let's try to mute our mic. Thank you very much. So, second. So, for this, so instead of video, I want to use this particular image as my logo, and I can just put it at this place. So for creating it, you need to come up with your grid. So coming here, there's a grid setting here, layout, click on plus, and it gives you this grid. Come to, all right, so. Okay. All right, thank you very much, sir, for that.
I don't even push annotation.
Oh, I've adjusted, I don't worry, I've done that. So, can you see my screen?
Bro.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so you come to this grid and choose column instead of what you have initially as a grid. So when you choose column, you see that you have all of these columns that's already there. So you can adjust it to 12, since it's a desktop screen, and you put it on stretch, make the margin to be 96 or whatever you feel it works well, and the gutter can be 22. This is just preference, wherever you think works well. Because I use this for most of my designs because it helps me to adjust every other layers on that design.
All those big onions. I don't know what happened to you.
Sorry,
You and the
please.
big
Akioluwa Yoride, please mute
Yes,
your mic.
So thank you very much. So speeding it up, you can just have your text and you just put maybe this can be the menu. Let's just increase to speed it up. Menu 1, menu 1, menu 2, whatever you want to choose as your menu. So you can duplicate it with Control D, and you already have the duplicate. Then you have to use, there's something called auto layout. It helps you to instead of you having a group, or you're trying to group things together, but to help in terms of development, because I believe you will later get that when you start developing, auto layout is the best because it helps to communicate. There's an easy communication between auto layout to the MCP server that you use for generating your doing your screen conversions by the time you start working. So let's say we have two and that. You can just keep duplicating Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. So that helps with that. You can have all of the menus. So I can try to just speed it up by making them not black, but using them as regular. Then I have a button that says just bring out a button here, and I can put that particular text in auto layout. You can just cut it and paste. It's just the normal way you do any of your designs. So Shift A gives you that auto layout. So you can pick and the color of the brand color they have decided to use. Let's say we are picking blue. Please pick a very dark blue so that it will contrast well. Oh, pick that for this instead. Copy. So you come to fill, add color to fill. You can paste the X code. And you will notice that you can't see anything inside because the text also has the same color. So I can just come to fill and change it to F, 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 F. That's pure white. Or you can even write white. That's one of the things that makes Figma very easy to use. Just write white. You understand that and write FF for you. So maybe this is our contact us button. Okay. You can as well, if you have any questions while I'm trying to design, you can ask on the phone or drop it. I can just attend to that. That will not really wait to the end. So I can just be attending to it while I'm designing this as we keep moving. You will notice that I keep using auto layout. As I've said, auto layout helps you better. Like it helps you best. It's the best so far. It helps you to organize your work very good. So I can put this in auto, stretch it out to this end, the end of my grid. Is the beginning. So still looking at my designs, I just want to maintain that. So this can shut out. So I don't get how we did the grid. Okay. For the grid settings, I said you will check the right-hand panel. You see that displayed on the right-hand panel. I'll not really talk more on this auto layout, just for introduction class. You can just play around with it. So for the grid, as I said, you click on the particular frame, which is desktop one, and which you can double click to change to your home. As well, you can change it from this layer panel, or you just come to layout grid and you click plus. Once you click plus, it gives you this opportunity to adjust from grid to column. So when you pick column, you can put in all of these values. Count should be 12. Leave it, type as stretch, auto width, margin 96, quarter 24. You can just play around with all of those things. So you can just have this as a demo now, just to speed up our work. So we know that the next thing is to have our hero section. So this is the header, just as you know, development, we have header, this header. So after header, here, welcome. So after header, you have your hero section where you display what you do or how you do it. So I can just I can press T on my keyboard. I've been used to shortcuts. My apologies because I've used this software for a long time, so I'm familiar with the shortcut to every of it. So you can press T on your keyboard or come to this particular T you see here and just click and press. So let's say hello mate, then that thing, and then you don't say hello mate, just leave that. But you need to have a much more larger scale, larger what you call font. So let's say 24 or 32, depending, 28, just for that hero section that you're trying to compare with. I am your name. So I'm just trying to follow this design so that we can have something to play around with. So you can keep asking your question, as I've said, I just keep answering them with this. Goodness. Oh, goodness. Do I need to sign out? And duplicate it by pressing Ctrl D. The UI. I'm even completely lost. Sorry, even. Why are you lost? Where exactly is playing lost? I was looking where I lost. The UI UX designer. pick my base color, which is the color I'm using here. So you can come to this color field, it's black, and I can select this and pick this eyedropper color for that. I'm playing around with the width, make it tick. See, it's just changing from here because I said I use shortcuts a lot. So you can get random text even from, let's say, if I want to fill this with a random text. Yeah, concerning that menu one for the person asking question on YouTube, concerning the menu one, menu two, you can decide to arrange them the way you feel is best. If you check websites, you see that most times you can see menus are centered, or you see it to the right, or you can see it to the left. It depends on the kind of style you want to come up with, or you can play around with the adjustment and put them in each what's it called, in each column as you think fits. So I think I've answered that. For random text, you can just go to rhymes. You can use rhymes. Come to plugins. Search for rhymes. You can see rhymes that see a lot of. You can run it and type the number of words you want. Let's say I want 12 sentences or whatever. See, it's been done. So so you have it already, so you can just adjust shooting fit. So random text you can get in. If you don't have to stress yourself, you can play around with the number, but I just picked that. Hey, so let me reduce it from here. Let's change it to 48 so that I can have it stressful. With a very long words that I've picked, so I can just adjust it where I feel like it's going to work. Just delete it. So I can just keep this rest and bring it here, reduce it to, instead of, because this is the body, so you can keep it around 16 and make it regular or 10 depending on what you want to do. And you can start arranging your stuff. Just as I said, auto layout helps you. So ensure that in all of the things you're doing, you're putting them in auto layout respectively, just to help you get organized with your file. I believe you're still following. You can just keep it thumbs up if you're still following. You can still screen. So Shift A gives you the auto layout, or you can right click and select your auto layout. So once you put it in auto layout, you check your layers panel, you will see that yes, you have this particular icon and a frame with a number. So that helps you to know that yes, this is auto layout. And I think this is not inside the frame, so that's why I'm having this error. So this particular element here is not inside this. It's not inside this, and you see that it's outside the home. So you can drag it inside home, and you will not see it again because it's already outside the canvas. You can just move it. You can just grab it and move it inside. Or another case scenario, if you have that kind of issue that a particular element is outside of your frame and you want to bring it inside, what you can do is just select it, cut it, select one element inside, paste. That way it's coming inside. So just bring it properly. You have this in auto layout already. You can just adjust this. You don't need padding. You don't need all of this padding right now. You can just so this on its own has its own auto layout. and you can put this together and this in auto layout to make everything perfect, and it should be left aligned. The gap between them can be 16 or let's say 8 because 4 because of proximity. Proximity is putting everything that relates together. So you can select this and as well put them together as one. I hope you can still see my screen. Yeah, still following me. Just leave a thumbs up. Okay, to cut that frame, to bring something outside, and just press Ctrl X and Ctrl V and just do that way into that. I don't know if I've answered that person's question. So you just Ctrl X and V, just cut it and paste it inside. So this and this, you can just put it onto layout and just make it maybe like 24 or whatever. But just it depends on your choice and what you feel works. So at the same time, I got all of these assets from the web. I think we have one more thing we want to include, maybe a contact us button or view my work. So we still need a button again. You can come here and purchase your button. You can duplicate it, or you press your Alt and left click, as you have seen on my top right corner. You can see that, you can see what I'm doing. I press Alt on my keyboard and I left click on my mouse, and I can just drag it down and just release it while my Alt is still pressed. So I have it selected. So I can see that and have it selected, so I can just drag it to the expected place I want to put it in. Contact me, or wherever you want to say contact me, or contact my contact, or just let's make it contact us instead. Contact us. So you want to have maybe another type of button. This is a field button. You have different type. You have outline. You can see all of the shortcuts I'm pressing while I'm trying to do this, so you can get familiar with it. It's just to speed up all of this because my time is almost up and I have to hand over to Mr. Joshua to help with that. If you wrap up with it. So maybe you can have view my portfolio. So also when you make maybe spelling errors or anything, it can also help you adjust this. Let me put this for example so that you can see. You see that immediately I make this error, it underlines it for me, so I can just right click and just adjust it. So it helps you with auto correcting also as well. So as I've said, auto layout, you can put these two together in auto layout and have them together in auto layout. Shift A is auto layout, and you can adjust the padding. And what I'll just tell you is make sure that most of all of your values in all scenarios, you use values multiples of 4. Multiples of 4s will help you best. I personally prefer, that's my personal preference though, but you can just play around with that. So even for all of this, I can increase it from 10 to let's say 16. So you see that it increases, I can increase this to also 16. Somebody is actually change to field. To change to field, if you want to change from like outline to field, the shortcut is just Shift X. It changes it. If you check this my right hand side between field and stroke, you see that it keeps toggling, keeps changing. So it depends on what you want to do. I think I've answered that as well. So let me go to, we're almost done with our design for what we want to do. So we have this man here. So because of that, I got this image on the web. You can just get it and you can just remove the background. This was what I got, and I removed the background. You just drag it inside your frame. It might be very large. You can just try to reduce it. Now, this is where you understand the move and scale that I was trying to talk about. So if this is enabled, it's going to lock the aspect ratio for you. But if it's not enabled, if you drag anything, it's going to Yes, it's not going to, you see that it's cutting the edge. It's trying to fill in into that particular image. But if you enable it, it's going to lock that spot threshold. So as it's increasing the width, it's increasing the height responsively. At the same time, if you just click on this scale at the same time, scale, if you increase it, scale also to be lock the ratio for you. So V for move, if you do it, it's going to not going to work. But if you press scale, scale can also go at the same time. So you can clip this to this. You can just maintain that thing and maintain maybe a particular aspect of the frame you want to use. Let's say this column. I'll use this column for. Can use this column for up to this. So there's something called fill, though you can, it's still things you play around with. It helps you because if you use this now, you see that this line is stretching beyond the particular container. So I can just make it wrap inside that container, just stay in that container. So it's going to maintain this width. So that is also in place. So at the same time, I can put all of those icons and all of those stuff. I got them also. All of these icons, I got them from the web. You can get any of those. Maybe they are basically all of the stuff you use for development. So you're just trying to show and portray that yes, you're an expert in all of these fields. So you can just paste them in here. It's still outside. So you can just paste them, select any element and paste them inside. So you can just adjust them wherever you want to. It's just based on preference. You can just drag it maybe behind this, in this one here, just to have a sense of anything. There's no perfect way of doing stuff. You can just arrange it. Just arrange it. It just gives you the opportunity to play around with design. So don't be scared to do anything. Don't be scared to mess things around. You're still learning, you're still playing around with it. So don't feel like maybe something is wrong, you did something wrong. And when you have any challenge, you can as well reach out. And if I have anything in position to, I can as well help you navigate that. So, okay. So I can just drag all of this here just to be around this particular image I placed. So you can also ensure that you're maintaining that frame. You said this is the margin, so you don't want to place anything outside of the margin except if it is intentional. But just maintain all of this space. Just be around it like this. And yes, to some extent, we can see that we have our area section selected. We have our area section ready. So you can just select all of those stuff and place it well. For this header, we want to put a gap of 96. And the reason I'm putting 96, if somebody can remember, while I was trying to create my grid, I used 96 for the margin. So that's why I'm putting 96 here. If you come to your grid, come here, you see that, yes, I use 96 here for margin. So that's the reason I still want to maintain that 96. And I can just align it to the center, though it is not giving me what I want because the width is not set properly. So because of this screen is using 1440, I can just make it 1440 and adjust it. You'll see that it will snap to where it's supposed to go. And for this height, I can use maybe 24 or wherever I feel like it's going to work and snap it to the top as well. So that's also, I can rename this as my, instead of frame, I can rename it as, header. So just as I said, you can be dropping your question if you have any question. Then I've been attending to questions at the same time before I try to do all of this. You can just, can we animate? Yes, you can animate on Figma, but it's the OYOT, it demands fair. A lot of I can give you possibly once I'm back, I can show you some of the things that you can do on Figma or play a bit on Figma. I can also show you some prototypes. So this is ready. You can center, you can just bring all of this together just to better organize your file. Because if you check your your left hand side, now you have a lot of things here. So and it can be really messy. So you can organize it. You can come here to collapse everything. This helps you collapse all the layers so that you can see it properly. So you can see this is our header. Our header should not be at the bottom. It should be at the top. So you can just take it up to the top. You can just keep taking it up till you get to top, or you just press this particular key, your closed bracket on your keyboard. See what it brings you to the top. This takes you to the last and take it back to the top. So you have brought it to the top. All of this you want to organize them since they are audio section. You want to put all of them together as one. So you can just select the first, the last, and which is so basically all of the things inside this frame. So all of the things inside this frame aside, yes, you will see that if you're trying to hover on this, you see that there's a bit of gap to tell you that, okay, this is inside home. But if you come here, you see that it's, all of these, they are outside home. There's a bit of that gap to show you that yes, all of these are nested inside this drop down, because there's a drop down here. So you have selected all of the things inside home. Can remove this. And I want to just give you a bit of the frame for you to be able to group all of them together. So select this guy and select shift and select this other person and just press Control Alt G. That helps you to group everything together, and you can call this your hero section. Don't worry, there's no perfect way to design. You can as well play around with anything and reach out if you have any other, like if you have any challenge. Just be creative. It's just about creativity. So I can as well bring all of, I can reduce this. Yeah. Yes. So I can put all of these guys together just to, I already know that this is my text. So I can rename this instead of frame, I can put this as text. Text. So all of the other stuff that I see inside this, I can just go through to this first guy. I can just Control Alt G, put them also in the frame and call it maybe my image ing. So that way you can scale this down to maybe, you can use scale here to scale it down. If you want it not to be too large, you can also scale it down. If this will help you scale it down, you can just bring it here. So that also helps you properly. So we have this frame. You can press Control and stretch it out to the edge because it's a frame. And you notice that I started using frame, and the reason I'm using frame is because of time, I don't want to use auto layout. Auto layout can still, yes, you can convert from your frame to auto layout as well. So let me just quickly do that. We have these two inside this hero section. So if I click on this hero frame and press Shift A, it changes from frame to auto layout, where you see that all of my values are there. 96 is there, 2 is there. I can just remove this 2, or you can make it another multiples of whatever you feel. Okay, so you have this image section where you have all of those stuff. You have your text, everything here. So you can jump, you can really bump all of this up, and bump all of this up so that it can look good. Increase this. And the reason you're having it wrap is because I've set it to fill its container, but this particular container is not set to fill, it's set to a particular number. So I can put it to fill, so it's going to wrap and adjust properly. So we have our hero section ready, and you can put in a background or whatever you feel it works. You can put a background here. This is not having a background, you can put a background. You can put that particular a tint of what we have. So we put this color and we can just reduce the opacity here to maybe something like this. You can as well adjust it maybe like 5 or 10 or 8, just to play around with. So to remove if you want to disable this grid, it's just Shift G. Shift G helps you enable your grid and makes it visible or not. So if you take away Shift G, you will see that, yes, we have that background here. And I think the last thing I want to do is to put partners trusted by. So again, we come to text, come here, trusted by. You see that my trusted is not, there's a typo there, so you underline it for me to adjust it appropriately. So I can reduce this to maybe 16 and make it a bit good. Instead of regular, I can make it good. And I can just drag all of these particular companies this particular asset I have. I just have all of this, and just copy it and bring it here. so that you can just play. It's a thing you can just play around with. I'll drop a link to this particular file so you can play around with it. And I will make it something that everybody can use. I'll drop it once I'm done, just for you to just have a feel of how it looks like. You can check it how grant everybody access to view it, just to play around, nothing much. So I think I repeated some of these things here. I just copy and move last one. Okay, so cool. We have all of this ready. This is ready, but it's not what we want. I think yes. I can just make it instead of 80, I can make it 24 so that I can snap real good. So let me turn on my grid back so you see that yes, we have it in our grid. And at the same time, you can use auto. If you use auto, it helps you to stretch it to wherever you want to stretch it to.
That
So
one that
stretch
comes
it.
when we're in charge. That's get to be
Sorry, please mute your mic.
Okay.
So please mute your mic. Thank you very much. So you can put 36 or whatever multiples you want to use. So that has given you this, and we already have this. We already have this. So we've come to a bit of all of this. And to check what you have done, to check it out, you can just go to prototype. If you click on prototype, you see that there's no device, and I'll tell you not to put any device yet. So you come here and you click on the image, you click on this play button. You will definitely see all what we've done, and it's going to load. It's going to take time to load. I'm going to see it. Please stop annotating on the screen so that it's not going to affect us. So while I wait for my prototype to come up, so do anybody have any question? I don't know if I've attended to all of the questions. Or... Is there any other question? If there's no question, you can leave a thumbs up while we are waiting for this to load. I will leave a thumbs up if you're cool and fine with it. Perfect. So I will have to disable this my keyboard. Let me disable my keyboard software so that you'll be able to see. So you'll be able to see my screen perfectly. Okay. So I believe you can see my screen now. You should be able to see everything you've done. And you notice that yes, it's not giving me everything perfectly. So I can come there instead of actual size, I can use fit to my width. You see that yes, you have it. This is your hero section and trusted by that we just did in just few minutes. Put it up to somebody and you can just check it and say, wow, cool, fine. And yes, you are done. Started the development. So to help us get a better perspective, I'll walk you through some of like designs that we have that we've done so far among Zurich so that you can just see basically what you build in real time, what you'll be converting as a developer. So you have a particular page that has a lot of screens, both for at the same time that we have desktop, we will at the same time have mobile view where you'll be able to see like okay, it's going to be like on a mobile phone and a mobile gadgets and everything. All you have to have that design. The UI designer and the UI guy is going to provide all of this for you. So you can just go here and inspect the code by going to yes. This should be your view for a developer on I've switched my mode to developer with Figma because Figma helps you to adjust everything. Like you'll be able to see and expect all of the things that was used, the color that was used, the padding, the adjustment. You can see that all of these has changed because I'm in development mode for Figma. You cannot touch anything here. The only thing you can do is just to view, copy it, check a particular color variance or all the codes that you need. So that's it. And you can as well. I believe Mr. Joshua is going to undo all of those parts. Can we use any laptop? Yes, you can use. There's not really like a specification. I remember when I started, I was using i3. I was using i3 500 HDD. Yeah, and it was working perfectly. But I would advise that to have a better performance in terms of person accessing for animation and all of this stuff, you need a higher RAM for that so that your system will not lag. If you notice at some point my system was a bit lagging, and that's because my RAM still needs to be increased. Currently I use 8 GB RAM, but you can use higher spec, you can use 16 GB RAM, and to work optimally, to work best in doing high level kind of designs, you might go for SSD instead of the 8 GB drive. So you can see all of this. Now let me go to prototype so that yes, to help you understand from the viewpoint for the person asking for animations. That's why I'm trying to open this up so that you can see it. Why I wrap up and hand over to Mr. Joshua, since there's no other question. So for the person asking for animations, yes, Figma can help you also handle animations. You can do a bit of animations on Figma, and it's going to work perfectly. It's a tool that allows you to do anything as far as you understand what you need to do. And that's why I said understanding what you want to do first is key. Then you can now go into communicate. So all of this was done on Figma, all of the gradients, all this kind of background that you see was done, all of this design was done. And to help that person that was asking for animation, if you look at this particular thing now, let me start it, you will see that it is moving. It's not like see if this is actually, it's not like this is live yet. This is not live yet. This is still a Figma prototype. You can see that it's animating. And I can as well scroll down to this particular section. You can see this also. You can see this animation also. All of this that you're seeing was done on Figma. So Figma is a very big software that helps you handle a lot of things. It just depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it, your understanding of what you want to do, the key thing you want to do, and just play around with it. I think I answered the person asking around animation too, and with that, I think I have come to the end from my own side. So I'll also hand over to Mr. Joshua to continue from his. Thank you very much. It's nice walking you through this whole development, this whole UI UX journey. And, thank you once again. Thank you.
Yes,
All right,
thank
thank you,
you
Mr.
very much,
Tunes.
Mr. Goodness.
That was really impactful. Please let's put on the chat if you are really impacted with the class, and if you have learned something new, put it in the class that I learned something new, and you can type what you learned today. So please, I'm waiting for a message on both YouTube and Zoom. So please let's put in the chat anything new that you have learned today. Then some of you, this might not be your first introductions to the world of development, and some of you, this might be the new time you are hearing this. So I want everyone to put in the chat what you have learned so far, the new things that you've learned you you've not heard before. I'm waiting for our response both on YouTube and on okay. So someone said I learned the base of UI UX. That's Daniel Adideji. Thank you. All right, that's on Zoom. Okay, Yusuf Adebayo. I learned Figma startup. That's great. That's great. That's great. So I'm still expecting more from us to hear so that we know that we've impacted you. So is it just two people that are on class? Let me check YouTube. Please, I want more of our response. Please, this is an interactive class. It's a class where we had to learn. Also, I will encourage you to when you are joining the Zoom sections, please. Yeah, I will encourage you to join with both to join with your full name. Because someone just put now can see HP. That's not your full name. Please, it's always good to join with your full name. So those of you that your name is not well shown, please try to ensure you join with your full name so that we can be able to address you very well. I learned a new thing that's from YouTube, so I can see on YouTube that someone said I learned a new thing. So please let's keep putting the chat up. Let's keep putting the chat up so that we can also know that we are not just speaking to the hair, but we are speaking to an audience that is listening. Okay, so we are going to move to the next So in the next 15 minutes, we are going to look at what is web. All right, thank you for all those that have put something in the chat. Thank you so much. Your feedback is highly appreciated. So we are going to look at website, how to build a website. We've known how website design is coming from. I think we started with the history of web development for those that joined early, and also let's know that this recording is available both on YouTube and on Zoom. At the end of this class, you can catch them up, and I will also encourage you to rewatch these videos again. For those of us that come in early, we talked on the history of web, how web the evolution of web. Then we moved to UI UX. We moved to UI UX, how design is being done. So now we are going to look at. So now we are going to look at how. So now we are going to look at how we are going to into the world of web. Trust you can see my screen. I believe you can see my screen. All right. So my other partner has taken most of the, if you can see our outline, most of the UI part. Mr. Goodness, I have teach you what the UI part is all about and how the UI part functions. Okay. So now we are going to look at what is web design from the angle of, I'm talking to people that have known what web, how to design a web is from, and all those things that Mr. Goodness have taught you about web design, how to do layouts and everything, encompassing everything is what web design is talking about. How to structure a page, how to structure some implementations, things like that. That is all that web design is